Hey everybody, it's Friday. We're 1 week away from the checkpoint number 2 launch. And today in the afternoon, so right now it is about 9 at 2 p.m. There's going to be the next interview. That will be a different stream altogether. So I'm going to take a little break before that and get lunch, and then I'll restart. It's not like it's a different channel, it's just a different stream. And today, the biggest thing we need to do is the remaining couple of tasks in the checkpoint. I think we're done with this. I mean, we didn't get to a total of 5 to 6 adventurers. Maybe I'll talk about that tonight. Maybe talk to Quickie Joe about getting a 5th adventurer in time for the launch. We would need to rebalance a bit and maybe add some more dungeons. Abilities to enemies, basic balance pass. Yeah, I think this is pretty much done. I don't think we got this, but I'm gonna say this is done enough. Let's see. I should bump this to checkpoint 3 though. Do we have a checkpoint for content 3? No. Or content for checkpoint 3. We don't, but I will add that in. I just realized my sleeves are not symmetrical. Oh, there's a no status issue. Change how customers switch into buy item state. Okay, we got to put this in the backlog. Let's go add in a P0 task. Skeleseller, add content for checkpoint number 3. Okay, C103 for ideas. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to do anything else there. Then we'll just mark this as done. And that puts us here. So we have these things we need to do. I think the first thing we have to do is to make sure these aren't duplicated, because right now they kind of are. I wonder, hang on a second. Did this announce? It did. Huh. I rarely streamed for 3 minutes in the past and not had anybody in chat. I wonder if... Oh, yeah, weird. It just didn't show me chat. Strange. Hang on, let me see if I missed something then. Hey, Schwartz. I figured something might be wrong. Yeah, strange. Anyway, hi. Chat runs CrowdStrike. Oh yeah, I just read about that in Discord quickly. Faulty CrowdStrike update causes major global IT outage, taking out banks, airlines, and businesses. I've never actually heard of CrowdStrike. And I guess this is a bad time to finally hear about a company, is when there's a major outage. Yeah, they're huge. Hey, Welchin. Hey, Voffy. Looks like I can't redeem the expensive hello again. Oh, because of a lack of points. All right, we're gonna consolidate these things. I should probably keep the instance around with some results. Yeah, I think this is just a duplicate. This is very similar to 161, which I closed, but it has some conversation there that we may want to, well, I'll say had some conversation there. Hey, Rust. And hey, Stelly. You know, like 2 to 3 minutes ago, and you can apparently only do it once per stream. Oh, and it doesn't show up when I refresh the page. Oh. So that's why it only, okay, I see. Ah, that's too bad. Like garage stroke. Got him. Yeah, I'll go close this. Closing this in favor of 119, which is an earlier issue and has more details in the root comment. Hey, Sinistal. For Bobby. Thanks. You're helping everybody out. Okay, so this is not planned now. Good. And then we'll update this. All right, so I still think this is like the biggest usability issue of the game right now. I will show the game really fast. And it's bizarre to everyone who starts it out. And it was never planned that we kept it this way. But right now, everything kind of looks fine, right? Like the town is kind of a basic town. But then as soon as you move the camera, you see that it's getting cut off just randomly in sort of the bottom third of the screen. That's where instances go, of course. So it looks a little bit more reasonable when it's getting cut off due to something you can see on the screen. But we need to keep this space around, and we need to use this space a little bit better. For Bobby. Everyone's rallying around expensive hellos. Oh, speaking of expensive hellos. Okay, there we go. I need to get YouTube chat up too. So we're going to work on this, and we need to figure out what we're doing first. So no battle has ever been run. We should probably have some special UI consideration. Maybe battle section doesn't even show up until your first battle started. Maybe your first battle spans the whole bottom of the screen. Maybe it's just overlaid on top of town. I don't know what would look best. I think it'd look weird overlaid on top of town. And I don't even know how we'd mock that up quickly, but I guess the easiest way is just do this. Start battle, and then take a screenshot of this. And then make a new image. 1920 by 1080. Why did that not work? Oh, because it's in like double size. Oh, man. All right, so what's that? 38. Whoops. 3840 by 2160. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, what I wanted to do here is show what this would look like if we had, I guess, oh, darn it. It's so annoying to do. Okay, so I guess we need to take a picture of the town like this and then put that into GIMP. Paste. Then make a new layer. Good. Then take this and put this on top. This is going to be a very hasty mock-up that we have, but whatever. It should be kind of good enough. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was thinking. Now we just hide this. Yeah, so what if the game had looked like that? I guess it's not as obvious, but I needed to overlay it over here. I think this would be weird. So I think that option is out. So our main options were overlay on top of the town, overlay the battle on top of the town. I don't like that idea. The next option is have, when you only have 1 to 2 battles, have them span the bottom of the screen. And the other one was show some kind of placeholder in the bottom of the screen. What, it was placed a bit further away from the shops? You mean it's in world space? Because then we have a problem with it wouldn't just always be on the screen. So you're saying, like, what if you put them over here and if you scroll away, you just can't see them anymore? Yeah. So then the problem is that you'd be doing a bunch of stuff in town and, like, you know, clicking things over here or checking out what's in your storeroom, and there'd be a battle happening and you just wouldn't even know that it's going on. So that's why they take up dedicated space on the screen. So that, I mean, because this is the, you know, part of the action of the game. I know it's not something you're directly controlling, but I guess that is an option we can write down. I put the battles in world space. Okay, so this looks weird. I don't think there's any other way to say that. And then for this one, it's they wouldn't always be visible. So players may not ever really look at battles. Is it possible to hide the overlay when there's no battle, like set the opacity to 0? Yeah, that's another thing that I guess could be done here. I should write down the problem first. So hide the overlay when there are no battles so that the town takes up the whole space. So yeah, the problem is, I guess there are a couple of problems. One is that when you've never done a battle, we need to do something with the bottom third of the screen. And after having done a battle, we need to show some information and actions about that battle. Sometimes don't look at the battle, just do quests and upgrades. Yeah, but in those games, because you're manually controlling them, you need to go look at the battles at some point, or else you just have a bunch of units that are around and they die. I don't actually know how Stronghold is played, but I'm assuming it's an RTS. Yeah, looks like it's that sort of thing. In this, it'd be possible for you to just click start battle a bunch of times and just never look at it. Because this is your only interaction point in a battle is this button, and then what do you click over here? And then once it's started, it's like, okay, just ignore this now. If you win, you win. If you don't, then maybe go take a look, I guess. This is where I think automated game design has very interesting quirks with it. Yeah, I don't think I want it to always be visible. I think that's a very important thing. So having tabs would make it so that it's not visible. Putting in world space would make it so that it's not visible. So as far as when you've never done a battle, what were the things that I had written here? Yeah, spanning the bottom of the screen. I don't think this would really work. This would be a special state just for the early game. But it may look weird. EG instances only have one room. So we would have to make very wide backgrounds. Yeah. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. I think I want maybe don't show the battle section until you've started a battle. Well, I shouldn't write maybe. We can decide whether we maybe want to do this later. Don't show the battle section until you started a battle, and then once you've started a battle, show placeholders for any battles you haven't started. For the slots where you haven't started a battle. And then when a battle is finished, show a result/action screen. Yeah, I think this is what I want to do. So basically, we would have the town take up the full screen, and maybe we allow players to go into that view sometimes. I'm not sure. Hey, Pige. Just go and get some ice cream or something and call it Adam Learns to Live. You know, there's a streamer that I raid, CM Griffing, and he's got an AI that pronounces my name, Adam Learns Live. Your comment reminds me of that. But no, I don't think I'll ever do that. Get ice cream or perform other human activities. I don't think so. No, it's not that actually. It's that I think the people who do IRL streaming do a whole bunch of like, they get a whole kit for it. There's like a backpack streaming kit, and you've got like 2 modems in there and a bunch of gear. And I just would rarely do it. I'm pretty sure your comment was like 80% for a joke and 20% for the actual suggestion. Would you watch me get ice cream pies? Also show the battle maps and the battle's not happening, so only the enemy is in the map. It could, but there's no guarantee you go to that map. So the way that picking a battle works is you click start battle and then you can pick which one you want to go to. So there could be like 14 options in this list, and we would be just showing something here, but it wouldn't necessarily represent where you want to go. Making show a placeholder with the start battle button and remove the button from the top left menu. Yeah, so that's something that's worth considering. Like this button probably won't exist eventually. And I guess that means that we can't do this. So maybe we just have placeholders. Yeah. So unless you've started a battle in a slot, I'll say in one of the 3 slots, show placeholders with a start battle button. Yeah, okay. I think this is a good conclusion. Good set of conclusions for this. Well, I would watch that stream. Oh man, if only you knew all the hang-ups behind all this stuff, Pige. I'll tell you a little bit about it. There's a really popular ice cream place around here called Molly Moon's. And there's like lines out the door for this place. And for whatever reason, when I first moved here, I was like, I'm that ice cream is too expensive. I'm just not going to buy it. And for like, I don't know, 12, 13 years, that was true. I just never purchased it. And then another streamer came to visit, and it was him and his wife, and then me and my wife. And they're like, we should get a flight of ice cream, but we'll only do that if Adam has some. So I finally broke my whatever rule or something after more than a decade and had some of their ice cream. Wonder who that other streamer was. I wonder if they're there in chat right now. Yeah, it was Ryan who came to visit. You can modify the kit of our little guy who goes to fight, like change his weapon or something. Yeah, there is no equipment. I think this is another kind of important part of game design, which is every system adds complexity, and some of that complexity helps or is worth the cost. So for example, in an RTS, you might have a system of like waypoints where you have a way of saying go here, then attack here, then go there. Like that's complexity. You need to teach the player how to use that. Then the player needs to understand the visual feedback about what's happening. But it's worth that cost because in RTSs, you typically have like 3-4 actions you want to perform. Do I know where you live, Paj? Not like your address, but just your general location. I don't think I do. I don't think I even know what time zone you're in. But yeah, if you're ever in the area, let me know. We can buy a flight of ice cream and I can watch you eat the whole thing. Anyway, where I was going with this is modifying the kit. Okay, so equipping items is typically something that you would expect out of RPGs, right? Equipping items is typical for RPGs. The problem is that there's a UI for it. There's understanding trade-offs. There's a whole like loot system that needs to be done. Then there's time the player spends analyzing loot. And then there's the balancing of this. There's the artwork that needs to go into it. It's just not worth it for a game that's mostly about selling and somewhat about battles. So that's why we just don't have the concept of equipping items. And I don't think we can ever justify that complexity. Yeah. I've stood in line many times despite not buying the ice cream. I get to the front and I'm like, sorry, I'm not buying any of that. No, I'm kidding. I am there with other people usually, and there's no avoiding it. I'm pretty much convinced about this. I want to give Welchen a point for one particular thing that dislodged a section in my brain here. Where did I write the conclusions? Did I close it out? Okay, well, whatever. I remember them. But I really got to stop doing... Oh, no, they're there. Yeah, these. Okay, but this needs to go in the design somewhere because I'm going to forget what the conclusion was. And before I keep just vaguely talking about this and then forget it, I should write down if we had the town take up the full screen, then we would need a special way of starting a battle for new players, but then the new player would never use that again. Yeah, that's the important part. Mainly that was just stats, 0 visual changes. So like select X from a list, +5 damage. Yeah, the complexity does also apply there though. Yep. And that's something that so there's not just the complexity component of game design, but there's also player expectations. And I feel like if players expect something enough, you almost have to do it. Because otherwise they're going to feel like there's something missing from the game, and then they rate the game lower and they do all this other stuff. And I think this is why managing player expectations is really important. If you marketed your game as like RPG with item selling mechanics or something like that, people would expect a certain thing because you labeled it as RPG first. But if you say like cozy, simple game, simple whatever game with automated battles or something along those lines, they might be like, oh, okay, cozy and simple. That means I'm probably not gonna have too much depth in this. And this plays into like if you've ever played the Paper Mario series, I guess it's an RPG, but like damage numbers are typically less than 10 the whole game. This may not be entirely true, but for the most part, it's like a lot of the entries in the series did this, and there's a reason for that. So, yeah. Anyway, cool. I will write this stuff down. slot. Did we write this here? Battles have 12 slots. I probably wrote something about 3 battles somewhere. These are in questions. I want to find the section where I wrote. Did I seriously not do this? I just want to write this down. Oh, here it is. UI will probably look something like this. Yeah. On today, there was some talk about how we'll use the blank space when there aren't battles going on. I think there are 2 states. If you've never used a battle slot, show a placeholder there with something like start battle. If you've used a battle slot, show results and actions, e.g. +3 potions and a button that says repeat battle. Okay, the reason why we shouldn't have the town take up the full screen when there's never been a battle is because that state only applies to new players, and we would still need a way to start a battle. So there would be a button that would have to exist somewhere that the player only uses once. Yeah. Hey, coffee. We got coffee and coffee here now. Still like that. Happy Friday. We're working on one of the most important things. Oh, I never updated the today command. All right, Adam is working on using the blank screen space better in Skeleseller. More info on the game. This afternoon, he'll be interviewing Sharon Lowe, a product, let me make sure I get this right, product lead at GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot. Then there's something else I wanted to say in here. Oh yeah, checkpoint number 2 of Skeleseller will launch in 1 week. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this interview. Contract reviews are insane today. Work is crazy. Is it a time of year thing, a time of week thing? Or is it just random coincidence? Because I was going to say it is like mid-July. I don't know if most companies end their fiscal year then, or if Cisco's quarter end. Yeah. Digging these interviews. I'm glad you're liking them, Sir Puppin. Yeah, and I think this one especially is going to be good. Sharon and I know each other in real life, which I guess was true of 2 of the other 3 interviews so far. And I just always appreciate our chats. I'm not, constantly interviewing her or something when we're chatting privately, but I think it's going to be very good interview content. Yeah, thank you, Bick. Okay, so now we need to plan a little bit about what this is going to look like. And then, what was that? There's sizes for PRs now, or sizes for tasks? I also need to look at these at some point. How did it get size S here? Because I know there was a bot you could pull in or something that would do that. Is this on the task? Oh yeah, it is on the task. Okay, never mind. I thought it'd be cool if they pulled it in from the PR. Like there's only 2 files, so it's a small PR. So many clients are affected. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was I hadn't heard about this until Wednesday, but something happened with Snowflake. Like they were hacked or there was a leak or something. Yeah, breach exposes 165 customers' data. I didn't realize though this says June 11th. I thought this was new news. It's old news, which we should call old. Wow, everything's going offline. Everyone's having problems. So what does this placeholder look like? And would it make sense to have it take up the whole bottom row? I guess it could. Okay, I'm gonna try something. How do we do this? We have, oh darn it, we have 3 individual slots. What are these things? Sub viewport container. Okay, so if we hid one of these, does it resize the other 2? No, probably because they have set sizes. Do they have set sizes? No, it's a child of a container, so the container sizes it. And the container sizes even when there are invisible children. All right, let's put a color rect here and just make this be any color that we can see. That's weird. Why can't we see this? Its size is 0 pixels. How do you, that's strange. I guess we'd have to give it a minimum size. Why is the instance thing not covered? Oh, do these have a minimum size? Oh, these must have a minimum size. They don't. What? What's going on here? This has a size. Does it have a minimum size? I do not know what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, that's more like what I wanted to do, I guess. Just stretch. Real happy Friday, if you know what I mean, yeah. Oh man, are you drowning in tickets, Sir Puffin? All right, well, what I wanted to do here is I wanted to see what would happen if we just had something take up the full size of whatever remains, which should be easy enough. There's a way to treat these things like they're flex boxes. I just maybe I don't know. Yeah, what if we just duplicate this and make another color here? No, that works fine. Yeah. Why can't we do this with the slots as well? I guess because this had a minimum size. Do we just need to set a minimum size on this? 100? No, that doesn't do anything. Flexbox. It's an HTML thing. And it's very, very, well, I guess technically CSS thing, fine. But it's very, very widely used. And it's generally used for laying things out in a row or column and controlling the flow of those things and the spacing of those things. And that's kind of what we have here for HBox container. Yeah, muscle box, that's what it's called. It's kind of what we have here, but not really. And I struggle with this so much when it comes to Godot. Like, there's a way to do what I'm trying to do, but I don't know how to do it. And I just need to click a bunch of buttons. And yesterday, this took so long. Take a look at this. I will grant some items and hopefully we get the right one here. Yeah, this. So as soon as we go get that cloak down to here, watch what happens with this NPC. All right, quest available. But look at that. The exclamation point moves. It changes color slightly. It gets bigger. That way you can see it from far away. If you're not really paying attention, you might see it wiggle every once in a while. That took me so long to do because the label needed to be sized. Do I have that open still? Yeah, the label needed to be huge. I needed to purposely make it bigger so that when the exclamation mark gets bigger, it will still rotate and get aligned properly. And I just didn't know. Hey, Basefold. Expand and layout. I remember struggling with this too. I did not have expand set. Yeah. I only had it set for the color rect. But for some reason for the color rect, it didn't work. Okay, well, thank you. So I think this is what we want to do. What a great wiggle, though. Thank you. I think this is what we want to do. So we have all of these set to expand. This one was already set to expand. Do we need a minimum size? I guess we don't. I guess just the other stuff needed to. So we revert all of this. Okay, so yeah, what I'm thinking is this, instead of being a color rect, is going to be a panel container. And inside of it, please don't crash. Okay, yeah. Inside of it, we have the usual margin container, and then inside of that, we have a VBox container or something. And then inside of that, we have a label and maybe a button. And I don't know what this stuff's going to say or do yet, but some text would go here. And this is an action would go here. And then we delete the color rects. And then we set this to expand. Yeah. Then we would, oh, neat. You can do that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, this is what I was thinking. We do this, and then when you have only one battle showing, it would look like this. If you have, oh no, that won't work. We would need to set the stretch ratio of this to always be, this would be like 1.5. Yeah. Okay, so we need to manage that. I gotta write this down. I'm gonna forget what I'm talking about here. So add in the new panel. Make sure to set stretch ratio based on how many instance slots are showing, so that we always divide the screen in thirds. Make a battle full screen? No, and only allow one battle at a time. Only allowing one battle at a time would change a lot of the game design. Like, you're supposed to have 3 battles going so that you can go to different areas, so that you can get different items, and so that you'd get, I mean, basically 3 times the number of items. But yes, you could make it so you could full screen a battle. I don't think people would do that, and if they did, I think they'd want more information and not just a larger view. Oh yeah, and then make the other slots invisible. Make the other slots invisible. And then save all of this information. All right, this is roughly what we have to do. I'm gonna just write this over here. Yeah. So work for, what is this, 119? And we might as well get this and put this here. All right, add in the new placeholder panel. Make sure to set stretch ratio, make the other slots invisible until they're used. Make sure all of this stuff saves and loads. And then we need to make the post battle overlay. Maybe just fade the background and show items earned, party used, location went to, and have a repeat button. Something like that. Okay, so we can make this work through code, I think, easily enough. So this is going to be the placeholder battle, or maybe the other way around, battle placeholder. And if we just set its stretch ratio to 0, does it disappear? No, you can't do that. Okay, so we need to turn it off. Yeah, I gotta write that down too then. Make sure the placeholder becomes invisible when 3 concurrent battles have been run. Is this gonna work? And then make the buttons in the placeholder. It should always use the first unused slot. Yeah. Darkstorm, thanks for resubbing. Welcome back. 10 months too. Nice. Oh, hey, fine. Welcome back to you too. Looking better since I last saw it. Well, did you see those wiggling exclamation marks? How's checkpoint prep? It's going pretty well. I'm very excited about doing what I want to do today. Let me show the wiggling check mark though first. Yeah, let's just speed this up. There. Okay, when they drop this off, there's the exclamation mark that shows up. But then look at this. Look at those tweens. This was non-trivial, by the way, to get this to expand in size because font sizes have to be integers and normal font sizes are like 18, 20. So if you increase by 1, you're increasing by like 5% of the size. So I had to make this a size 300 exclamation mark and then shrink it down with the scale. And that way I can go from 300 up to 310 or so. Want to tween up and down, but that's like 3 pixels of space there. Yeah. So that was all really, really tedious to do. But it's looking good now. And yeah, you can accept the quest. And then the quest works, but I have so many items that it's going to be hard to show. But yep, then I wrote some notes on it. Everything's looking good. All right, battle placeholder. This is inside of instances view. We should really make instances view probably be its own scene. Oh, it is its own scene. Wait, no, it's not its own scene. I mean, it's got its own script though. What's this called? Instances manager. Yeah. So instances manager is where we would probably put the battle placeholder. And does that know enough to do what I want it to do? I think so, yeah. Yeah, there is a right click and save branches scene. I'm probably going to want to do that so that the town scene doesn't get to be gigantic. But I'll write that in a cleanup section. Cleanup, save instances manager as its own scene. Make sure it has the right node names. Not going to worry about that for right now, though. So we need the battle placeholder here, which is a I don't know. Let's just make it a control for right now. I'm probably going to want to put its own script and its own type on this. But yeah, for now, I guess we'll make it a control. Yeah, I know manager is in here. Yeah. I think we probably could have named that a little differently. It's okay. Oh, dragging onto the folder works? Interesting. Also, something I never really thought of is anytime you're making a UI in Godot, if you see the existing UI in Godot, then you know that it's possible because Godot was made in Godot at this point. So all of this UI, I'm pretty sure, is just the stuff that you have access to as well. Although maybe that's not true. I don't fully know that. All right, so private control, what do we call this? Battle placeholder equals null. I did call it that, right? Yeah, I did call it that. All right, do we have a ready here? No, we don't. We were going to get one. Public override ready. So battle holder or whatever equals get that. Looks good. Hey, Amy. Happy Friday. How goes house building? I know it's house renovating. But you're still kind of building. All right, so at first we want to hide all 3 slots. Where are the slots themselves? We don't ever need to access them, so we don't even get them. Okay, but what are they? They're sub viewport containers. All right, I guess let's do this then. Private sub, actually we don't care if it's a sub viewport container. We just care that they're controls. So we're gonna say like instance slot controls equals null, null, null. Is that even doable? No, because I did not make this an array. And then this would need to be a control question mark. I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I'll do this. All right, now we need to initialize all of those. I'm going to do this the just easy peasy way right now. Slot 0, 1, and 2. Yeah, I know we can loop over this. I'm not going to do that yet. And I'll just write to do loop over this. The reason I'm not doing this is because I'm not sure we're going to stick with this way. I might move some of these things around. And we'll do this before we get to the cleaning up the commit. Or while we're cleaning up the commit. Got my new floor laminate in stair PVC place this week. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Copilot should automatically do this after you comment like this. Yeah, I guess if I just do this, fix the to do. Yeah. All right, fine. Well, whatever. Okay, then we want to set this thing's visibility to false. set this thing's visibility to true, although it should probably already be visible. So is this our starting state? Make sure to set stretch ratio. Oh no, we need to do that. Oh, right. So I'll just make a new function here, like private void set next slot visible. So we need to know the last one that we had used. Do we know this already? How do we find a free slot? If it's null, return I. Okay, so we just iterate. All right, well here we can do pretty much the same thing. If its visible is false, this is instance slots controls. So, well, don't need right is equal to false. If it's not visible, then that's the one we want to use. Control next slot equals null. Next slot equals this one, break. If it's still null, then I guess we can't do anything. Remove the redundant jump, oh, because it's at the end of the function. And then we want to set it to visible. And then we need to update the placeholder. We need to know how many you have that are visible. Int num visible equals 0. Num visible plus plus. We put that here. Okay, so if num visible equals 3, which I guess we could say instance slot controls dot length, then we want to make the placeholder invisible. Otherwise, we want to make the placeholder have a stretch ratio. How do you set this? Size flag stretch ratio. This is just a float, right? Yeah. We want to set this to, okay, how does this work? Either we want to set it to 1.5, num visible equals 1. We want to set it to 1.5. Otherwise, we want to set it to 1. Yeah. All right, I think this will work. Are we leaving the finished battle on screen with the items list? We're leaving on screen. I'm not totally sure with what yet. The things I know for sure we have to put there is the party you used, the location you went to, and a like repeat battle button, and maybe like an edit party button. And then, yeah, if there's space, show the loot you got. I'll put this in here. Fade the background. Yeah. Show these things. Yeah. Okay. Now we just need to go use this. But this isn't going to work, is it? I guess we can put it in here. Set next slot visible. This is not how this should work, but let's try this out. So ideally what we see is that the placeholder is taking up the full space on the bottom right now. Yeah. And now when I start a battle, it should bump it to the side. I got to set the expand property correctly. Wait, no, I already did that. What happened then? I do repeat X or even start X with an option to abandon the rest after the current battle is finished. When you say repeat X, you're saying like repeat some number of times? Because if so, that's going to probably be a player-wide perk you get. Yeah. So you won't start with that, I think. And then eventually it's going to be the kind of thing that you're like, okay, I'll put a point into this. What we need to do is we need to make it so that the point economy is such that you get this just because it's just not worth putting a point in anything else. Or maybe you just naturally unlock this. I'm not sure. I got to think of how that's going to work. I guess for now I'll write it in the ideas section. Automatically starting battles. Yeah, it would nice to have an auto button. And I wrote that that could be a allow for auto battling. This probably won't feel like it's worthwhile for a player to spend points on this, yet it greatly increases the quality of life of playing. So perhaps we can grant this in some other way. Yeah. But at first, I don't think we're going to have that. Then again, I don't know. Is it so bad for checkpoint number 2 to just put that in? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I should probably write it as a consideration. Consider putting auto battling in for checkpoint number 2. I think I'll get feedback on it. So maybe it's worth working on. All right, we got to figure out why this broke. Because this is correct at first. Then we click this. Well, we click this. And now that's off the left side of the screen. And this is sized incorrectly. So what happened here? Instances. Slot 0 is visible. And the placeholder has a stretch ratio of 1. That's not right. Should be 1.5. And either way, this thing is positioned off the screen. But if the number visible is 1, which it should be. Oh, it's 0 in this case because of how this worked. Okay, so technically we need to do this at the end no matter what. We need to start non-visible at 1. We're going to make 1 visible no matter what. Yeah. But that doesn't fully fix this. How big is instances view? This should take up the full screen. Yeah. Its size is set to always just take up the full screen. So it's 1920 pixels wide. This is 958, but it's just positioned off the screen somehow. But I don't even see how it's positioned off the screen. It's positioned set to 0, 0. Well, now it's gone, but and now this is gonna bump another one there. Position is 550. It doesn't look like 550. Maybe I need to set alignment or something. But why didn't I have to do that here? If slot 0 is turned on, then it just gets sized correctly here. And then slot 1, slot 0. Yeah. What's going on then? Does this have the wrong... I don't know what's going on. We'll investigate a little bit more. So I click the button. Why are you off the screen? I think this is 2/3 now, though. Is this also off the screen? I don't think so. Yeah, what is going on with that? Is there a direction I need to set? Like shrink end? Shrink end, but expand is on? I have no idea. We need to make a battle last forever so that this doesn't go away. Oh, hey, there it is. Okay, well, shrink end did that. Can we also set... There's custom. For whatever reason, you can... Okay, let's back up a step. Let's go make it so that battles never end. So how do we do that? We make quick strike do 0 damage. Actually, you know what? We just go to the battle system and just change deal damage to always be 0. Dodge chance equals a large number. All right, there. Now you should always dodge every attack. So they should never end. Yeah, I wanted to make the changes in a remote view, but the battles go away after some time. So now if I start battle, that should never finish. And now we can take a look at how to get this to work. So in the remote view, you can, I think, check multiple boxes for shrink. I don't know if we want to do that. I don't know how that would even help us necessarily, but yeah, there's shrink end and shrink start can be set. Or no, maybe not. Did the battles just go away? Battles can't end, right? You should be dodging every attack. Hold on a sec. Where's... Set next slot visible. I might have launched through VS Code. I'm not sure. Hey, Trackley. Happy Friday. Oh my God. This is annoying. We gotta stop changing the visibility of these things, or just set this to true and set this to false. Let's try that. This should just be back to what the game was already at. Just with the battles never ending, I hope. But maybe I coded something wrong, or maybe I forgot about an ability that you have. Oh, come on. It's off the side of the screen. Oh, why would that happen? This isn't even visible. Why would that happen? A few weeks off from work. Nice. It's finally time. Okay, I changed something here, and I don't even know what I changed. Slot 0 has size flags horizontal. What is that? It's expand. Yeah, expand is correct. Then the size. Whoa, what is happening there? That was quite bizarre. It's. Well, this is going to make it really hard to read. All right, size of this was set to just 2. I guess that's what's happening here, but then it sounds like it's just not expanding. Transform size is actually automatically computed, right? No, there's a viewport underneath that has no size. Yeah, this size is set to 2. That's probably why this is happening. Can we set this to expand? Does that... What does this do? Size 2D size... The 2D size override affects stretch as well. That's not what we want. There is no container positioning in here. I think we just need to like up the size of this. Let's set it to 322 for right now. And just start a battle. Yeah, cool. So there should just be dodges happening constantly, right? And if I speed this up, there should never be any damage dealt. Yeah. Okay, good. So battles last forever. Maybe we have to manually set the size of the viewport. Godot viewport expand with container. Using viewport. Size sub viewports. These values are overridden, but for others, these sub viewport. Is this a sub viewport or yeah, it's a sub viewport. Sub viewport will cover the area of its parent completely if stretch is set to true. There's a stretch property that I didn't see here. Stretch. It's just this. That doesn't sound like it's correct. I guess I'll click it. But then I'd set the size to 2. I don't know what to do about this. Well, setting the size of the... Setting the height should have been fine. Sub viewport will cover the area of its parent completely if stretch is set to true. And stretches on the container. Okay, that was unclear wording. So this has a stretch. Yeah, there it is. Wow. And now this gets its size from the parent. So we need to set stretch on all of these. But Dark is saying this is going to create another issue. Let's try this out. Okay, there. So now can we put this back to what it used to be? We make the placeholder visible. We go back to here and change those things. And now we launch this. So I click this button. Oh, Gotta click. I gotta undo one more thing here. Forgot. So now when I click start battle, it should shift this to the side. Okay, good. That worked. If I start another battle, which I can't do because I don't have another party member, but if we click this and then start another battle. Okay, also good. And now when I start the final battle, it should take up the remaining space. Perfect. Okay, so that's what I wanted. Now I do want this to be an overlay. I guess you should be able to see the town underneath this, or we should have no blank space. Although I suspect the dark is going to say there's no blank space on Windows. I can't remember if this is what it always looked like. I guess we could just git push and then see. Yeah. Or stash. What am I talking about? Stash. Just a weird control positioning. But was it always that way? I don't remember. Oh, couldn't get rid of the gaps. Okay. Oh, that should be easy enough then. I think there's a theme override for whatever it is that you're seeing there. Oh, drat, we need to start another battle here. Let's go to this. There's no dodge set to infinite, so I just gotta take a picture fast enough. Yeah. And yeah, the gaps are there. Okay, so let's go get rid of the gaps. How would we easily do this? How do we even easily see that we can do this? We would need to set a background color of this, which sounds like it'll be annoying. Can I just add a color rect? I guess I can. I don't think that works the way I want it to. Unless maybe we could set its... Nope, you can't do that. Hey, Phoenix. VBox theme override? HBox? Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. This has separation. We just set that to 0, right? Easy. Now let's go try that out. So now I need to start 3 battles. I really need to make this easier to do. Can we just do create instance 3 times? We can. Okay, yeah, now there's no gap between them. Okay, or we have a gap, but we make it like a pretty looking border so it doesn't look unintentional. I don't really particularly care which one we do. Oh, except for, drat, I gotta keep this, but I also need to stash pop. That work? Nope. So let's copy this, revert. Line 53 or so of instances view. So I can put that right back there. Did it go before or after script? Whatever, I'll just set it through the editor. Yeah, it went before. I thought it might be in alphabetical order, but I guess not. If we leave the gap, the 3rd battle goes off the screen. Really? It should take the sizing into account when you do this. Like if I set this to 100, it should know what to do. No adventure to add to battle. Oh, that's too bad. Is it going off the side of the screen? I don't think so. No. Yeah, it's not. But either way, we don't want the gap, so I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, what did I do? What do I need to do? So add in the new placeholder, make sure to set stretch ratio. So we did that. Make the other slots invisible. Make sure the placeholder becomes invisible. So that's all done. But now we need to keep track of when we're using a brand new battle. Which we don't know. What even makes it a brand new battle? I guess it's how you started the battle. So starting a battle through the placeholder will use a brand new slot. Yeah. Starting a battle any other way will use an existing slot. Is that always possible? There's not any other way. That's not true. Yeah, there's no way for the control to know on its own. Because if you hit repeat battle, this thing won't know that you hit repeat battle. Oh, I guess the instances manager could keep track of that. There's cat hair on the microphone because Abby rubs against it. Sorry if you were all hearing cat hair that whole time and not my voice. All right, let's close some of these tabs at least. And then let's go back to instances manager. So we had this here, create instance. I guess, where is this called? In 2 spots, right? Wait, there are debug create instance. Why doesn't this go through started battle? It's just the meow mix jingle. Oh man. I haven't even thought of that in forever. Where is started battle? Here. Yeah, when do we call this? On chose instance party. Don't care about that. So it's just this thing. Why don't we do this here? Could we? ID, adventurers, and player abilities. Yeah, we should have just done it this way, huh? So this will have some other impact, though. What's the other impact? The nudge label will know that you did this? And that's it? Okay, well, that's very minor, but I guess this is technically correct. So let's do the technically correct thing. Called cat hair. There are a lot of different, I feel like, game music tracks that just have random names because who's ever going to see them? Unless the sound test in the game shows you the name of it. So if we click start battle, it's going to do what it did before. So we got to go change that part now. So when you create an instance, we need to know whether you're repeating a battle or not. So maybe we'll put like a bool use new instance slot if possible. And if that's set to true, actually it's not a Boolean, right? It would be which instance slot you wanted to use. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. I'm trying to think of a scenario here. What is this? So you have slots 0 and 1 open. You click repeat battle on slot 0, or you click repeat battle on slot 1. So in this case, we don't need to check to see if the battle is free. We know which one we're going to use. Yeah. So int instance slot to use. Yeah, and if this is -1, then we're going to open up a new one. Okay. Maybe change the battle finish result 1 and repeated. No, the repeating thing is just going to be a button at first. Like I said, eventually we'll probably have like a checkbox here that lets you auto repeat. But we're not going to code that at first. So it's just going to be a button that the user presses. And when the user presses this, then we'll call this function with the same instance slot it just came from. And when the user presses any other button, we'll call this with -1. So now we need to call this with started battle needs to know the instance slot that it takes up, which is an int. So in debug create, what are we going to do? I guess we just use a new one. Yeah, we use a new one, -1. Okay, on chose instance party. Right now, you would have to choose it through start battle. So yes, this would also be -1. In the future, that might not be true. Yeah, and that's it, right? Okay, so technically, this means that any battle you start is always going to use a new slot, which is what it was already doing. but this is the proper way of doing it. Oh, this also has, okay, I might need to change this a little bit because this has an int here, but this doesn't have an int. Int instance slot to use. Is that what I called it here? Yep. Okay, now we start this. Yeah, for those who haven't heard, and I'm going to try to say this a bunch of times in the next week, but 1 week from today, probably at roughly this time as well, so almost exactly 1 week from today, we are going to be launching checkpoint number 2 of this game, which is what you're seeing here. It's not going to look drastically different from this, but this should look drastically different from the last checkpoint that launched. All right, so I start a battle. I'm going to click this. Let's go to Volcano 2. It opens it up there. If I start another battle here, let's say we go to the forest. Yep, and then if I start a battle through this thing, cool, yeah. Solo adventure. Do you often go into streams and your first piece of advice is, or your first line of chat is a piece of advice? Because I think one, generally it's good advice what you're saying, but I also think there are other things to keep in mind. I'm kind of purposely incurring tech debt right now to get ready for a launch that's going to be 1 week from today. And as a result, the cleanup list that I have has actually gotten somewhat large. So there's stuff I want to do here, but it's not as important as moving forward on launches. And I think if you've been in software development for long enough, you recognize there are trade-offs like that, where you can purposely do something in a worse way to save yourself time. Okay. So this is good, but we don't have the buttons in the post-battle overlay. Yeah. And saving and loading is something I'll do toward the end of this, I think. Always use the first unused slot. So a repeat battle, this should use the same slot that was already in use. So we're going to need to make a post-battle overlay that goes into each of these slots. Have you talked quickie about the placeholder? No, I haven't. I think that it's the kind of thing that for checkpoint number 2 can just look super ugly. And in the future, I think we want to show where you were battling before that underneath this. So for example, if you were in the forest, it should still show the forest. And the reason for that is you can repeat a battle and the location will be another visual cue into where you were. If we look at the other issue that was here, 161. So I know you had these gate images. I don't think I want to do this because if you do click repeat battle, you'd have to be like, oh, is this the forest one? And when you just see green here, you might be like, oh yeah, it was the forest one. And maybe we could do something a little different about that. I'm not sure. But I think it'd just be like UI polish of putting borders and stuff on things. So I'm not too concerned about that right now. All right, so buttons in the placeholder. This is the post-battle overlay. Why did I say first unused slot? Oh, yeah. Yeah. The placeholder should. Right, but where is that? We don't even have that yet. Okay. Well, let's go do that. Where is that? Here. This button. It just says an action would go here. So this would be start battle. But what should this do? Should it pop up the instance chooser? Your very first battle, you have no choice. But then your second battle, you would have a choice. So I think this should pop up the instance chooser, but then the instance chooser should be populated with which slot you want to put the party into. Let me think about this. First battle, no choice in adventure or location. Every other battle, you do have a choice. We could tell the instance chooser about which slot making a battle in. Yeah. Maybe the party chooser should be in that slot. It could be, but the size of the party chooser would probably have to be changed. Where is the party chooser right now? Let's go take a look at it. So this is the right height, I guess, to fit here. Yeah, I think it probably should go there. Well, it might be too tall, but we could change it a little bit. Actually, it might not even be too tall. Let's just load it up and see what happened. I don't know what's going on here. Is this what I want? Yeah, this is what I want. Okay. Yeah. So if we just try moving this down to here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same height. But then again, I mean, it expands as you get more adventurers, right? So if I just say grant most things, then it gets very large. That is not in itself a problem. We could have it be scrollable, but I don't think it's probably going to be. I don't think it's going to be a good fit. So what we could do instead is maybe position this on the screen near, like we could still put it on top and it would just expand upward. I think that's probably okay. That would mean we'd have multiple instance choosers. Is that a problem? I don't know. But yeah, that's another thing we need to figure out, which is like, what does the flow look like? So you start a battle from the, well, this is from the placeholder. This only happens 3 times, by the way, in everyone's game. That's it, 3 times. Because then the placeholders are gone and you started 3 battles and now they'll just be on screen all the time. It opens the instance chooser on top of the battle space. There can still be a close button there. And then you click edit party. It shows the instance chooser again on the battle space. I guess it has to, right? You need to know that you're choosing a party for that battle. Which could mean that you'd have 3 of these open. There could still just be 1. And it could be when you click edit party in any of these things, it adds the party for that instance. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Yeah. Do you always see just one start battle button or one for each slot? Okay, so there are 2 new things we're talking about here. There's the placeholder, which is only shows until you've started 3, or until you've used all 3 battle slots. Then there's the post battle overlay, and this will also have like an edit party or a repeat battle button. So this, you could have 3 of these on screen at once, but the placeholder, there's only 1 of those. Yeah. You could offset the party chooser. Well, that you could do 2 different things here. Option number 1 is have 1 instance chooser and just position it based on which battle you're choosing for. And option number 2 is have 3 instance choosers. So is there ever a reason to have multiple open? I think that's the real question here. Like, does a player want to be able to see 3 at once? And I think it would reduce screen clutter. I feel like I want to go with option number 1, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with option number 1. Buttons in the placeholder should always use the first unused slot. It should spawn the instance chooser above that battle. edit party. This should move the instance chooser above that battle slot. Yeah. Okay, I think that's what I want to do. Let's go try that out. So this would have start battle. And the very first time you start a battle, oh, then one of the things we need to do in cleanup is remove the existing start battle button in the UI. That's what I want to do that. Yeah, I think so. I think this makes sense. So when you click this button, this is going to be the start battle button. Or maybe it's just called battle. Anyway, there's that. Now we go to Instances Manager and we have a start battle button. Start battle button. Okay. Start battle button. And when you click this, we'll say start battle from placeholder. This doesn't even exist there. What am I doing? We need to get the node path. Although really we should just make this a unique thing because this is going to be crazy. Private void start battle from placeholder. So for this, we need to open the instance chooser, open instance chooser. And then associate it with the instance slot. No, don't associate with the instance slot. And set its instance slot to -1. Yeah, so the party chooser is not going to be just some standalone thing anymore. It's always going to be tied to a slot or to no slot. That sounded stupid, but what I mean is it might start a battle in the next open one, or it might start it in a specific one, but the placeholder always starts in the next open one. Yeah, so really what this does is it opens the instance chooser, but there's a case where there's no need to open it. What is that called? I thought, oh, it's called start instance. It's not called instance chooser. Start instance. Where do we do the thing where it's, oh, here it is. Player wants to start battle. Yeah, if you have no choice, then just start a battle immediately. So that's what we need to eventually call. But we also need to set the instance ID is going to be -1. There's going to be repeat battle, and then there's going to be start battle. Player wants to start battle. Oh, we need to pass in the slot. Where does this happen from right now? Yeah, this button's going to go away. So I think I can see how this is all going to be set up then. Yeah. Okay, let's just connect some stuff for right now. So instance manager, we're going to have like a, what do we call this? Start battle from placeholder. On start battle from placeholder. And this needs to spawn the instance chooser. So we need the, no, I guess we don't need an instance slot here. I'm gonna, oh man, are we gonna start instance our player wants to start battle? It's not this though. It's kind of this, but not really. How about we do from placeholder? Yeah, I know this is super verbose. I don't even have an event here. I'm gonna put this here now. So this is gonna be, we need to store an instance slot here. Private int instance slot to use equals, actually it doesn't matter what it equals. It should be set in every case. So this is gonna set it to -1. And then we're going to call player wants to start battle. All right. Now we need to connect the event to that, which is here, start battle from placeholder. And I called it what exactly? On start battle from placeholder? Do we have any events in here already? Yeah, we do. This takes in an int. We call this from over here. Invoke. Oh no, it doesn't take in an int. We know it's always going to be -1. So yeah, we don't need that. And that should do it. Yeah, except that there's a problem. Yeah, there's a problem. Something needs to pass in -1. Where is it? Started battle did. This is debug. I don't care about this. This one, though, this matters. This needs an instance slot passed in. And onCho's instance party now needs to have that. And we say instance slot to use. Nice. And that's it, right? Yeah. Okay, now I think we're good. So if I hit start battle, it should pop up. Oh, wait, no, it should have started battle. It did not. Oh, did I forget to connect the button? I don't remember. Element should be separated by a blank line, sure. Start battle, press start from placeholder. This invokes this. This is connected in the town. Town goes over to here. This calls into the wrong thing. No, wait, this isn't the town. This is the instance manager. What? That's why. Because we need to set this up after we've set up the start instance thing. Wait, we have the start instance thing. Why doesn't that work? Ready instance manager, line 39. Battle placeholder doesn't exist? Continue legal education really sucks. It's got to be good sometimes, right? Like things you wouldn't have known about that if you didn't know about, you'd be like conducting your job poorly. Is there a typo in the name? Let's find out. Yes, there is. Good job. How was that? How was that not a problem earlier, I guess? But yeah, thank you. 1 out of 12? That's 8.5%. Oh man, actually it's 8 1/3, right? Yeah, but the 1 out of 12 are probably really valuable. I feel like anything where you've got clients and there's some sort of medical practice or legal practice that needs to be updated, I think you just have to have the continuing education. Yeah, see, even in IT, we have major outages. That's our continuing education. That worked. Yeah. So now we have to win this battle. There's literally only one way to do that, and it's to force winning the battle. And now when we click start battle, it should pop up the instance chooser. Nice. And now when we click start battle, it should start into a new instance. Yes, it did. It bumped over the blank space, but the blank space isn't going to be blank for much longer. What's the other thing I need to think about here? Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Oh, man. Okay. There's another scenario, which is you only have one adventurer. You started a battle with the placeholder. This made a new instance slot. So now you have one instance slot, presumably with a repeat battle button, and the placeholder. So the problem is nothing stops you from starting a battle from the placeholder and using another instance slot. And I think the solution is say this isn't a problem. Because as I typed that out, I kind of realized, does it matter? So here's what the problem kind of would have been. Let's start from a blank slate here so you can see. I don't know what this is. So let's just start completely from a blank slate. Okay. So yeah, this is the state everyone's going to start from. You click start battle. It does the one thing you'd expect it to do. Then when this battle's finished, imagine that the forest is still showing and there's a repeat battle button. You don't have to click repeat battle. You could instead click over here and then start another battle, which is now going to have a forest with a repeat battle button. And then this new battle. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. But now that I think about it, you might try to repeat a battle and not be able to because your party is in use. So here we have the rogue in use, but repeat battle on the forest would have also tried using them. So we need to write that down. It's possible that you can't repeat the battle because the party is in use, or some of the party, because it's greater than 0 party members are in use. In that case, I guess just show an error or something. Disabling the button would make it unclear why you can't repeat it, I think. Hey, Magma Salad, welcome back. I just like Godot's get node to throw an error if it returns null instead of returning null. Just tell me what I did wrong faster. Yeah, I guess you could just make an extension function that's like get node or throw. Did they just do the same thing? I think get node or null doesn't log an error. So what Magma Salad is saying is that, well, I don't have it showing anymore, but I did see an error in the console, but it's not clear when you start up your game usually that something went wrong. And an error in the console is not the same as crashing your game. But yeah, get node or null would have done the same behavior and just not logged. Okay, so we're just saying this isn't a problem. I'm going to write this in my stream of consciousness so I don't forget that I came to that conclusion. There. Now I feel good about myself. Does it just mean like doesn't exist? Yeah, essentially. So if you have any sort of like, how do I say this? An object, I guess. So imagine something like a bank account, a cat, just something. It typically can say that it equals null. And in this particular case, you need to say that it could be null. So you put a question mark here. And that just means that you haven't said anything yet. And there are times when you might want to do this. So for example, maybe it's like, oh, a player could be holding an item, but maybe they're not. And instead of just storing like item held and then a Boolean for like, is item valid or something like that, you just make the item nullable and then just say that it's equal to null afterward. Yeah, like a placeholder. It's been called the $1 billion programming mistake before though. Yeah, I don't know the exact context of why. Whoops. It was the invention of the null reference in 1965. At that time, I was designing my first comprehensive type system. My goal was to ensure that all use of references should be absolutely safe, checking performed automatically by the compiler. Couldn't resist the temptation to put in a null reference simply because it was so easy to implement. Led to innumerable errors, vulnerabilities, system crashes. Yeah, so I guess that's the problem. If you try to use this and the language doesn't have any check to see, like, could it have been null? So if you just do like item held dot delete, it'll be trying to call a function on nothing, which is generally going to throw an exception. And yeah, for a lot of languages, you just don't detect this at compile time. Hey, Wendrick. Null pointer or not $1 billion mistake. I mean, I'm just saying this is a quote from this person. The person who invented null said this. Whether or not you agree is totally fine, but like this is the person who made it who said this. I think languages that do it well have like an optional value and it forces you to handle both cases, which is either it exists or it doesn't exist. And in that case, I think everything's pretty much fine. But in the case where it's something like JavaScript and something can be null, undefined, or set, and you might do different things in different cases, and knowing the sort of truth table of equality there for those things, I think that's where a lot of people have probably shot themselves in the foot. And how could be false when it should have been true? Well, right. And so what I'm saying is I think languages that just either handle null properly or have some sort of static analysis for it or just force you to do it right at compile time, like make sure that you've handled it. Like I'm pretty sure Rust works this way. Like if you don't handle an option, I think it's just, you just don't compile. So I gotta say, I think Abdullah, what you're talking about here is essentially saying the same as what this person's saying, and maybe missing the forest for the trees here a little bit. People have made mistakes because of null existing, and there are ways to get around this such that null isn't a problem. But because null exists, people have made those mistakes. So I hope you can agree with that part. And then, yeah, how you get around it, it's like you can make mistakes by just doing multiplication of integers that are too large and they overflow the size of the integer, and then saying multiplication is $1 billion mistake, and you'd be like, well, how else will I code? And it's, if that mistake happened a ton of times and cost teams a bunch of money, then it could also be called that multiplication is $1 billion mistake. I think from that framing, it hopefully makes it less controversial. Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure you've probably worked on a code base before where null has been a problem, and you now know how to get around it, but it still caused a problem at some point. You had one more opportunity to make a mistake. Well, and like a very easily used opportunity to make that mistake. Yeah. I guess it's sort of like any other thing that you can do in a language that you generally shouldn't do. What's a good example of that? Like something pops into mind. I think there's a with keyword in JavaScript, and like nobody uses this, I'm pretty sure. Is that a thing? Am I thinking of a different language? With keyword? Keyboard? Yeah, deprecated. No longer recommended. Been removed. Maybe in the process of being dropped. Avoid using it. It's not recommended. May be the source of confusing bugs. Yeah. So it's like this language feature existed, and if you knew how to use it, it wouldn't be a problem. JavaScript ended. It's gone. It's done. Generates an error that isn't crashing the program. It still returns null. Yeah. Oh, I thought you realized it today. Yeah. Oh, Python might also have it, but yeah, JavaScript definitely had it. I remember reading about this, and this is one of those things where even where I read about it, I think they said just don't use this. Like it's just a mistake. So when I think about it from that perspective, I think, okay, that makes sense. You can do things for a language that's not necessarily good. And this, I think, plays heavily into how languages have evolved over the years. I think a long time ago, like maybe somewhere in the range of 20 to 40 years, you had a language that was very distinct from all the other languages that existed at the time. And then I feel like languages started converging to these same general features that you saw, things like generics and delegates and whatever, I don't know, lambdas and any features that are like kind of sort of new in terms of general computer science. And I'm not saying every language has these, but the languages that had them to begin with, like C# made lambdas, I think, at first, and Java didn't have them. And then Java's like, oh, we should probably get those. And now they're just, it's not a differentiating factor. So I think at some point in the future, we'll stop having null the way that it looks right now. And most languages will have come up with a better way to handle optional values. Anyway, always use the first unused slot, should spawn the instance user above that battle slot. So the positioning of this is not something I've done yet. And actually, I don't really care to do that right now. I think let's just put that in cleanup because it's not super important that we do that. So when you open the instance chooser from anything, it should probably position itself near where you opened it. E.g. opening from the placeholder or opening from the edit party button. P4, yeah. Oh, and then also stop the skill tree from being mutually exclusive with the start instance. Oh boy, all right. So post-battle overlay, I think we can check in what I've done already, which means cleaning it up, which means sucking it up and then doing it. Okay, so this is something that should be checked in on its own, I think. Yeah. Remove no, I don't need to do that. I won't check it on its own. Let's unstage this. Hopefully that didn't break anything. Yeah, good. Okay, this looks good. Looks good. Yeah, some text would go here. I mean, I don't know what to put here. Maybe we delete the text. I guess we have no use for it. Let's delete it and let's make this thing take up. Let's have it be centered in the parent. Layout, container sizing, shrink center. That is not how this works. The VBox is fine. Can it lay out its children differently? Oh, I just never know how to. Oh, there we go. Alignment. Got it. And now what we want is for this to be shrink center. Okay, so there. That's our placeholder. It's just a big start battle button. We can put more things in that UI eventually, but for now, I think that's fine. Okay, let's keep looking. Battle system. This we're definitely not checking in. Permanent dodge. In fact, yeah, let's... How about we set it to like a 90% chance to dodge for now? That way battles will end. They'll just take a really long time. Because I have a speed up by 8 button. Okay, so what do we have here? Instance lock controls, battle placeholder, start battle button. Battle placeholder should probably maybe also be its own scene. Yeah, I'll write that in cleanup too. Consider making battle placeholder its own scene / script. Yeah, just not important for right now. I want it. Okay, so I said this on Monday and Wednesday, but I wanted to do user research for each checkpoint, and this meant different things at different times. So toward the end, I'm probably gonna do like a lot of it. But this particular instance is that tomorrow, probably, maybe tonight, depending on how much progress I make today, is gonna be a friend of mine recording himself playing the game. And I wanted this feature to be in. So I basically have a deadline of about 24 hours from now for this. And if I ask the friend, hey, are you okay with doing it on Sunday? Yeah, I'm sure he'd say yes. But I'd like to get it done by tomorrow. So it's not going to look great. And we'll have some code cleanup we need to do afterward. But I think that's okay. All right, instance slot to use is -1. Set next slot visible. And if that doesn't exist, then we just do nothing, right? Yep, cool. Okay, I'm happy with that. This is a little tough to read. Next slot equals null. Go through each one. And if it's not visible, get it. Set it to be visible. And now either make this thing disappear or make it size correctly. This needs a comment. When there are 3 total slots. So when one battle slot is visible, this placeholder should take up 2/3 of the space, which means its stretch ratio should be 50% more than the other one. Why does that work? No, that can't be right. Is that right? Because, oh man. Hey, Wob. By the way, if I'm ever pronouncing someone's name wrong, please do let me know. I don't know if Wob is correct. No, this is wrong. Yeah. What am I doing? This is how much is this? 1.5, 3/5, 60%? I'm pretty sure I messed this up. Wow is correct? Okay. All right, I will add this in my pronunciation notes. Cool. All right, well, welcome to the stream, Wow. And Two Dorks, thanks for resubbing. Woo. Welcome back. I'm pretty sure I messed this up. And I think the only way for us to really see this is to go take a look at the remote view and just fix it. So I'll do this off screen. But this, I think, needs a different, this needs to be 2. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I was going to say it should be 2/3 of the screen. It's 100% more than the other one. Yeah. Oh, what's going on? I want this to be put on this screen. Hello, there we go. Like super laggy. And if we start another battle, which we can't, I guess, because we don't have any adventurers. But now we do. Nice. Nice. Yeah, cool. Let's speed this up. I want to win this fight. There, we did it. Okay, I think it looks good. Nudge label, what even changed over here? Instance slot to use, yeah. Yeah, and this is just ignored from there. This is started battle. This makes sense. Fix that. Yep. Cool. And then start instance. Now knows which instance slot you want. All right, I like it. Yeah. Add battle placeholder. This is how you'll start battles. Or well, this accomplishes 2 things. Uses the blank space before having started 3 concurrent battles. Use the blank space better when you haven't ever had, actually it's not even 3 concurrent battles. Use the blank space better for battles. Okay, there's that, and it allows us to remove the start battle button from the UI. Although I haven't done this yet. Yeah. Learning C#, self-learning, and I come to Twitch to learn from people that are pro or get motivated to get a first job. Have you been looking for a job for a while? I think that going on Twitch and having someone on in the background is pretty helpful for a lot of people. And I feel like there's a concept of co-working or body doubling that's been a little bit more common lately. And I kind of tried this in the official sense of you can't even see my screen and I'm just working, but I'd rather interact with people as I work. But if you never type something in chat, then you never have someone responding to you, which means I think you're able to focus a little bit better. At least that's what I've found. If I go into someone's stream and I start talking to them, I'm like, what if they say something to me and I'm not listening and I seem like a jerk? It's kind of fun to just to have someone around, especially working remotely. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I noticed something yesterday. I got to write this down. Write somewhere that it's way easier to focus with noise canceling headphones on. I should try this even when no one is around. I feel like I don't know that much to apply for jobs. Yeah, I think the market's also a little bit rough right now, especially for more junior engineers. I think it helps when the other person's being productive too, Magma Salad. I think for body doubling in person, if you're both just kind of silent doing your own thing, you get that sort of productivity boost. On online, I think if I were just like, talking and not coding, I think it'd be a little harder. I've got most of the time in the background. Seeing you work reminds me that I should be working. Yeah. And really, it works both ways. Like if I didn't have the stream right now, it'd be easier for me to get sidetracked or just go do something else. Places want quality legal advice but don't want to pay for it. That's me. I want legal advice without paying. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, I guess, but I'm joking about the I have actually hired lawyers in the past. I think everyone wants things without paying for it though, right? Like I also want free restaurant food and free whatever else. I'm not a wealthy corporation though, or am I? No. The business has earned less money than it has made. Or sorry, less money than it's paid. Yeah, I am very far in the red. That's why today is Red Friday. Everything must stay. Oh, you have your own firm. I didn't realize. If it's free, then it means I'm the product. What if it was that way with food though? Meow mew. If you were the product but you were eating free food, would you be happy about that or sad about that? Because with data, with software, it's like, okay, well, they're selling your data or something, or there are ads. But what if there's some giant corporation, they're like, hey, there's just free food and you can have whatever you want? What would you do? Junior attorney, really shouldn't have started my own firm without the clientele to come over. Ah, I see. I know everything about the legal profession from Suits. It's a very accurate documentary with the same plot played out over the course of 9 seasons. Yeah, Burger King and one less leg. Turns out your leg was the product. There's so many red flags in that scenario, but what would they be for you? Like, really, imagine that you go to the grocery store or something like that. You're like, I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna make some a nice a pizza tonight, something like that. And lo and behold, you make it to the store, and there's like a mini restaurant set up, and above it says, Microsoft Pizza, and they just say, "Come on over, Meow Mew, have some free pizza on us." And there's someone you recognize in the grocery store who works there, and they're like, "Oh, this is totally cool. Yep, they came by. Here's why they're doing this." Would you eat the pizza? Because I feel like I would eat the pizza. In fact, I have a low key. I have like a minor bucket list, and I've already crossed a few things off on this. There was pet an alpaca, and there was see the aurora borealis. This was, by the way, total just freak coincidence. I guess once every maybe 23 years or something, you can see it in different parts of the US that normally you can't. And I mean, it wasn't just Washington State. But yeah, that was really nice. But the one that has not been checked off yet is be walking by a pizza place late at night and be offered a free pizza. And this cannot be a manufactured situation. It has to happen naturally. I don't think it'll ever happen. I've told my wife about this. She's like, oh, I was thinking of, setting this up somehow back when I used to walk by a certain pizza place, going to the gym. And I was like, you can't do that. If I sense any foul play here, it will not be something I can cross off on the bucket list. You have a determination, aspiration, and time. Yeah. Essentially happens at tech conferences or big vendors have 100% free parties with alcohol and food. They just require your email and phone number. Yeah, but if you give them a fake email and a fake phone number, and they don't give you fake pizza. Oh, I'm not saying there isn't some profit motive for them, by the way. This whole hypothetical, first of all, is tongue-in-cheek, but second was like, with food, it's a little bit different because you're in the real world and you can still be the product. And I've still walked by places that they have offered free food, usually to try to market something at you right then and there. Like, oh, hey, did you know we're running a fundraiser for blah? And then you feel guilty about eating your free ice cream. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what else is on the minor bucket list now. I think go to an all-you-can-eat sushi place is on there. Let's get back to work. So post-battle overlay, I got to make one of these, and we're going to put it inside the battle slot. And I guess it's going to be a control. And we want to show what in it exactly? The party use, so maybe it has a party section, but that's not editable. Make this a party section if possible. The location you went to, that can just be a label. This is a button, this is a button, and the loot you got. The loot you got. How do we show that? Maybe put this in a scroll container. I would need to make something custom for this. Pirate Software Game Jam. I don't tend to really watch a lot of Twitch, so I don't even know that. I didn't know until just now there's a game jam going on. But also, I think if I were to do a game jam, I'd probably just host my own. And I sort of had plans to do that, and then Skeleseller came up, and now I'm just going to be working on this. All right, so let's go make a new scene. And there's going to be a control. We're going to call this, we can call this like battle results. Not really results though. It's like the end battle screen. End battle. End battle screen. I'm going to call it screen. It's not really a screen. Whatever. All right. Now what do we have? This should probably look kind of like the start instance thing. This was a VBox, then a panel, then a margin, then another VBox. Okay. I don't know about that other one. Oh, that is necessary. Yeah. We're probably going to do the same thing. Okay. So V panel margin V. Yeah. VBox container, add panel margin. Oh, that's not right. Panel container. I'm okay with sidetracked every once in a while. I think I'd probably go nuts if I were just talking and never interacting for, 7 hours a day. All right, we need party you use. I'm just gonna copy paste all of this. Well, I'm gonna put it in right now as just labels. So this is gonna be party you used. Actually, let's just put it all right here. Location you went to. Repeat battle. Edit party / location. And loot. So these are things that need to go into this UI that aren't there yet. Yeah. How can I help promote Skeleseller? Will I be able to buy it? Yes, you'll be able to buy it when it fully launches. For now, the best way to help is to just try it out and give feedback, I think, next Friday or sometime shortly thereafter. The problem with these checkpoints is that feedback is only valuable if I have time to work on past feedback. This is true of kind of every product. I just don't have the resources to do a whole lot here. So for example, if I launch this game and let's say 10,000 people played it, like they're all going to have generally the same feedback. Like this bothers me, this is fun, I don't like this is missing. And yeah, after you hear it 50, 100 times, you don't really need it another 9,000 times. So my development cycle is such that I think if you do end up playing like Friday or Monday or Tuesday of the next week, I think that'll probably be best. And then that feedback will help me iterate again. Once the game finally launches, I think just, telling friends about it, buying it, wish listing it, that sort of thing. I think that all the usual stuff would help. I appreciate it, by the way. I have generally been bad about kind of marketing things or even sort of asking my audience to help with that. And I think it'll be slightly easier when it's a purchasable product and it's not a like a, I don't know, it's not Botland, that's all. All right, so the end battle screen is going to show up in all of these places. End battle screen. Going to show up in each instance slot. Now, is there a reason to keep one around and repurpose it? Or should we make a new one every time? I think we could make a new one. But let's instantiate one of these in here. I'm not sure how this will work. So yeah, what happens if, well, first of all, let's go into here and let's make this not take up a giant amount of space. Where is it? Yeah, how did we do that over here? We set a minimum size. Alignment begin. I guess it just didn't have it anchored to the whole screen. Yeah, full rect custom. Top left. Top left. Cool. Yeah, that's what I want. And I want this to expand to fill the size that it's in, both horizontally and vertically. So now if we put that inside of here, what does that look like? Add, no, not add, instantiate. That's not instantiate. That's the add button. What's it called? End battle screen? There it is, yeah. This is not taking up the full size, but why? I have it set to expand in both directions. Maybe I set this to be full rect and then I just don't. That kind of worked. Yeah, it's taking up the full size. Okay, so then something else isn't taking up the full size yet. This. Container sizing, fill. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's what I want. Yep, that is what I want. Now we need to center that stuff. Well, we don't really need to. Let's not worry about centering it. I don't need to make it look that much better yet. All right, so we need to add an end battle screen to each battle that finishes, and it just needs to be added underneath the slot itself. So how do we know when a battle is won? There's a battle result. Oh, also we need to keep the instance around. That's going to be probably a little bit harder. Fade the instance in the background, but keep it around. No need to run any systems in it. Hey, Grace. I'm doing well. It's finally time to tackle one of the things that's been on the radar for a long time, and I just haven't gotten to it. And it is using the unused battle space at the bottom of the screen. So on battle ended. So this is when we're going to add in a, oh, what's this? Yeah, this is when we're going to add in something here. We're going to instantiate. Let's just copy paste this. And then go to battle ended. Yep. All right, I'll call this show end of battle screen. Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, I'm not taking breaks because today's a little bit weird. I probably should take at least one break. Yeah, let's get the very basic thing of this working, then I'll take probably one break. Okay, so private void show end of battle screen. All right, you want to instantiate. I'm just gonna, yeah, this is load. Okay. No, I don't want to do this. I want to put this over here. Actually, I did this somewhere else. What did I do that for? Party member, here it is. Yeah, I want to just do this same general thing. Okay, so this is end of battle screen. End screen. Good. We don't have a script for it yet. So we could just make it a control for right now. Do I need there to be a script for it? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Let's attach a script. Put it in the right place. Not there. Yeah. End battle screen. Yeah, and then delete the of. End battle. Yeah, there we go. Okay. End screen. So we instantiate that. We add it to the slot control. This should be done in the instance, not here. And the instance should know its own. Oh, there are a couple things I'm going to need to do here. What is this? It's a sub viewport container. Instance doesn't know that. What is instance? It's a node 2D. Oh, does this get added? It gets added under the viewport. Okay, I see. Oh, this is a little... So there's like an instance container, and that's what I want to use. Does the battle ended? Where is that? Does it tell us? It tells us the instance, but the instance doesn't know which slot it is. I think we delete it from here. Yeah, instance.cube free. Okay, well, we can't do that anymore. Let's not free it. And then instance ID, that's not correct. I need to know which slot this took up. Okay, well, let's do it the easy way, I guess. Find which instance slot this belonged to. I just had the AI do it for me. Okay, so if instance slot I equals instance, it'll be the same reference. Then we found it, and in that case, we want to position this thing there. So we get the control instance slot control. Is that what I called it? Yep. Equals null. If that's the case, set this here, break. Instance doesn't exist. Yep. Now we need to add that here. And that's it. That's all we're going to do for right now, I think. Actually, we'll just throw if this is null. Instance lock control. Man, my coughing really never went away since I got back from vacation. I don't know what point I should worry about that. All right, so we need to win a battle and see what happens here. Nice. Yeah, we need to turn off the battle system though. So there needs to be something in instance that knows that it's totally over. And presumably that exists. Yeah, battle ended. Take adventurers out of battle. That part's fine. I want to pause all of this stuff. Yeah, here it is. Set systems pause. Wow, look at that. True. Okay. Let's try that out. So this will stop anything from happening within the battle. So I start a battle and I win it. Why is that still going on? Why is that going on? System should be paused. Maybe battle ended isn't being called. It might not be. I'm debug ending the battle. That's why the debug thing might be doing something different. Debug win all battles. This win all instances. Debug win instance. What does this do? Take adventure. Oh yeah, this drat. This calls some special thing that isn't what I want. I think we need to call battle ended. Will that work? Take adventurers out of battle gets called. Yep. And then on battle ended invoke. Yep. Is there anything in here we shouldn't be doing? Num stages. Current stage is less than num stages. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, cool. So we want to do this and we want to set this to 1. Num stages, current stage equals num stages. And then call, what is that function called? Battle ended. Okay. That'll hopefully work. Although the same thing needs to happen when you lose a battle. So there's probably a debug lose instance somewhere, but let's try this out. So I click start battle, I click win. Nice. The animation still happens. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. I think just not having the battle still happen is good. Yeah, where's lose instance? Is that a thing? How do we do this? Kill all adventurers? Okay, that's one way to do it. Yeah, this'll go through the right flow, I think, such that, let's try that out. Should have just left it open. Okay, so start and then lose. Yep, same deal. All right, yeah, this is going very smoothly. Like, we've got the placeholder thing working. We've got to now make all of these controls, but I'm going to take a break before we do that. So where I left off is just got the end battle screen showing, but it's not functional at all. All right, I will be back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey again, close the game. All right, I gotta kind of scramble a little bit here. I have a little less than an hour. And I gotta make sure that I pay attention to that because I gotta call Sharon before our interview to make sure everything's working. And oh, actually, you know what? I probably have even less than what I thought because I also want to eat lunch and I don't want to. The interview is at 2 and it is 11, so it's 3 hours from now. I like having a little bit of lead time before the interview. Maybe if I start up at like 12:30 or 12:45. Hey Rensu, thanks for the 1 year long sub. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I need enough time to do the test call, to eat lunch. So maybe I'll stop at like 11:50. Yeah, so that gives us about 50 minutes. Okay, well, we can make some progress in that time. Probably stop at 11:50. Yeah. Okay, so the party you use. Can we add a party section here? Let's find out. We have start instance. This has a party section. Party chooser. Party chooser has party sections. Yeah. All right, we're gonna need to repurpose this a little bit. And then get rid of anything extra, e.g. button handlers. Wait a second. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to do this. Let's go in start or end battle screen. So there's a label. We're gonna add in a party section. This says available adventurers right now. I guess we would say party used. Yeah, otherwise that seems pretty good. Okay, so then from here we can delete party you used, and we'll call this party section. Yeah, good. All right, now we want to populate that. So private party section equals null, and then public override ready is going to get that party section. It should just know how to fill this in, yeah. Only that's under all of this stuff. So let's copy node path and get control container equals get node control. Looks good. Then this comes from the container. What is ID? This is VS Code. I got a list of pretty much everything I use at that FAQ. All right. Oh, move this into a namespace. I never did that. Let's go do that really fast. There we go. Okay. So we have the party section. We need to populate it with your actual party. How do we get your actual party? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's take adventurers out of battle, so it must know. Yeah, this is how we get your adventurers. Do we have a just get adventurers? Create player oh wait, we do. What is that doing there? What is this? This can't be used anywhere. It's not used anywhere. Yeah, this is, I don't know what I was thinking. Nice theme, yeah, thank you. I have the theme command as well for that. It's Atom One Dark Vivid. Okay, I think we need a way of getting the adventurers that you have. So I think I'm going to delete this. Who even wrote this? I have no recollection of this place. Let's put this near the adventurers thing that we already have here. We could just store them. In fact, it might just make more sense to do that rather than doing this. Is there any way you can add adventurers later on? No, there isn't. We should just start learning from scratch, C# with prior knowledge of JS. I've got my advice on learning programming here in this like blog post essentially. And I suggest reading this, because I got this question enough that I decided to make a blog post about it. Yeah. And if you have questions after reading this, definitely let me know. I'm happy to answer. I'm not trying to just like push this off and never have a conversation about it. It's probably worth reading that first. Adam 1, 3531 Dark, a dead robot. Yeah, sure thing, Bacala. Okay, so what if we just stored the adventurers? Then we wouldn't need to do this. Yeah, we wouldn't need to do this. I don't see why we wouldn't do this. Okay, fine. Then let's do one of these things. Adventures. Actually, you know what? This is fine. Get private set equals a list. Actually, probably just equals null. And then let's initialize this here. Adventurers equals adventurers. We never call this from another place, right? It's private. Yeah. No, we can't. And then where we get the corresponds to adventurer component, I'm guessing this is never used anywhere else. It is here. Interesting. Okay, well, then that's worthwhile to keep. But the thing that's not worthwhile to keep is this. So we're just going to go for each node adventurer. Oh, are these actual adventurers? They are. Yeah. And we just want to call this thing. And this needs to be an adventurer at that point. Okay. Cool. So now we have a way of getting this. And we are going to figure out where that is. Show and a battle screen. Here it is. Instance. Instance has a battle system, which we don't have a way of getting. No, we do not. But we could get public I read only list of adventurer. Adventurers is going to be getting it from the battle system. Yeah, and now here what we can do is we can initialize this thing, instance slot control, or no, not that, end screen dot init with instance dot adventurers. Good. Generate that method, make this public, delete this part of it. And now we need to add in the party section. I think that's it. I think that's all we need to do. I feel like we should probably add a small unrelated cleanup thing. Unrelated party section should probably have a set adventurers that clears and adds each adventurer from an I enumerable so that callers don't have to do it. Let's try it out. Let's see if it's working. All we have is one adventurer in here, and it's the rogue. But I guess we could test it with another one. So I'm going to hit start battle. Then we're going to hit win battle. And there it is, the rogue. And if I click this, it's probably going to break. Did it? It didn't. But yeah, there shouldn't be a hover over effect here. I feel like there's no benefit in doing that. But that's a minor cleanup thing. Remove the on hover effect from party member in the end battle screen, since there's no click handler, so there's no reason to show that you can hover over this. Okay, so now let's go try a battle with multiple party members. So we'll choose all 4 of these in this. That is a bug. Yeah. Need sleep? Why not just sleep then? I don't think game jam should take priority over your health. I think a lot of people want to give it their all, and I think that's great, but I think it should be your all while staying healthy. Then again, I mean, it's your life, and game jams are typically pretty short. I don't know how short this one is. So fix bug where a new instance overlaps the old one, since the old one. Yeah. a week long or two. Yeah, if it's a actually, yeah, I don't know if it's better or worse to have a short game jam, but if it's long, then I definitely think you need to still get sleep. If it were like a 24-hour game jam, I could see, okay, pull an all-nighter for that. But if it's a week long, yeah, not good. Gotta get sleep. Started late. But I think there are a bunch of different reasons to do game jams, and I think part of it is variety, and I think part of it is proving to yourself how much you can do in a short time. And I think a very, very small part of it is the competition aspect of it. And if you can remind yourself that this doesn't matter as much to you, then you shouldn't need more time, I guess. I was joking about need sleep. Okay. Because there are probably some people who bend over backwards to just get this stuff done, and they're like, I'm going to put in whatever 30 hours over 2 days. And that's nuts. There's also the effect where I feel like your productivity just goes down over the course of the day. It's like, what's the best amount of time to spend and still be productive on something? And it's like clearly not, 20 hours per day. I think you'd probably be a zombie. And it's clearly not like 10 minutes per day. So somewhere between the extremes. And I'd say it's probably somewhere in like the 4 to 6 hour range. That's my guess. It's probably like the ideal productivity time if you're just going to be doing something. The only time I ever got in a playable game was during a jam because of the force focus aspect. Yeah. Yeah, I think game jams are great. I think hackathons are great. It's for that reason of like just viciously prioritize. Make sure to cut everything that doesn't matter. And ideally some of that translates to your main development as well. Not the like ruthless prioritization, but really just thinking like, hey, this is going to take a couple hours. Is it really going to help? And if not, then just don't do it. So we used to queue free an instance and now we don't. Yeah. And this will never get freed. But so then how do we know that it's, how do we put the other one on top of this one? That's the part I don't understand. And I guess I would need to know what's happening. Okay, so let's just restart this. After that game jam, there's another game jam. You be jam until you drop. All right, so start a battle, end that battle. Now start a new battle. Actually, it doesn't matter what we do. You can just click that. Yeah, now what's going on? Why you do this? This has that screen. Does it also have a battle going on? Like what's going? What happened here? We added 2 to the first slot. Yeah, what? What positions it in a slot? Probably this. If it's null. So then we must set it to null. So where do we do that? Clear slot right there. Oh, which must also have a way of getting which slot we were in. Except for we do it by hash code here. Okay, so we don't clear the slot yet. Yeah. All right, that'll fix that problem. Now I want to test, does the party section show your entire party? So let's go try that out. Close out of this, go to the game, and click start. Win the battle, grant most things, start a battle here with your entire party. Cool. Now we win that battle. Nice. Yeah. Wow. All right, so it shouldn't be called available adventurers. I think we can customize that. Because I'm pretty sure I wrote some like set labels thing, didn't I? Set labels, yeah. All right, so end battle screen needs to set the labels to be, what are these? Section and guideline. Guideline can be null. Okay, so section is going to be called party used, and this will be string.empty. Yeah. All right, that should look a little bit better. Then we need to delete the on hover, which we could just make an easy setter for that. That should be simple. I should just start a battle like this. Yeah. Yep. that's definitely not good. Oh, because it says, because it's trying to use instance 0, I bet. Because what I just did is not actually a supported scenario. I think we can fix this by starting this at -1, and I think that wouldn't have happened, but this shouldn't be necessary. Also, we should make a constant out of that -1. Make a constant out of the -1 that I use for the instance slot everywhere. Yeah, although then it should be an enumeration, right? It should actually be an enumeration. Let's see if it fixes it. Yeah, so I click start battle. I mean, it looks like it worked. Yeah. Wait. No. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we also need the result to show up here. Like, did you win or did you lose? Yeah. Show the battle result, the result of the battle. You won. Yep. Okay, let's go hide those hover things. What is that, inside party member? Is there a hover thing here? Mouse entered, yeah. Show highlight and hide highlight. This should only be done if there's like an is highlightable. So let's just make a public thing for that. Bool maybe can be highlighted, or show highlight on hover. Yeah, that. And set this to true by default. And then in show highlight, we just put an if here. And hide shouldn't need to change. Yeah, hide doesn't need to change. And then we just need to set this party section needs a public void. Yeah, set show highlight on hover. Bool should show. So the way this should work is we should actually store it inside this class as well. That way any party members that get added later have this thing respected, and not just the ones that are currently in here. So let's do that. Private. Actually, we could just make this public as well. Public bool show highlight on hover. All right, so get is going to be, I guess we need a backing variable for this. Show highlight on hover. Wait, can you just say get like that? I think you can. And then set would be a special thing. No, you can't. I don't think you can. All right, whatever. I'm going to make a backing field here. I don't know if you can get by without doing this. Private bool this, yeah. And this will be set to true by default. And when you set this, it's going to set the value. And then it's also going to set this of every party member that we have. Yeah. Yeah, if you declare a body, you need a backing field. Okay. And then this very fun thing. All right, there we go. Now we can delete this. And then over here, we can set this thing to set highlight equals false. So like I said, there's no reason to be able to hover over this. And we can just mark that off the list now. There. All right, let's try it out. So when you go to this start battle, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. But anyway, this one has hover effects, and this one now does not. Cool. Yeah. All right, let's start populating the rest of the data there. The result of the battle, like you won. So we'll make a label, result label, you won/lost. Good. Now in end of battle screen, get the result label. Result label. AI should just be able to fill in kind of the rest of this stuff. Yeah. All right, so we initialize it with adventurers. We also need a battle result. Result. Okay. Now set the text of that based on the result. There's no such thing as a draw. There's none. None should probably just throw an error. I think I'm just going to do this. Result equals win, question mark, you won. Otherwise, you lost. Should you lost have an exclamation mark? Maybe it should say defeat. No, defeat could kind of be interpreted either way. You lost. Well, whatever. Gonna go with the harsh wording. You lost. You're a loser. Want to try losing another battle? Loser. I mean, I guess we should test that, but I'll just test that when we test the next thing. Hey, Syntonic. I just joined and Adam calls me a loser. It was just you, though. And hey, Shax, over on YouTube, the first person to type after 2.5 hours. Nobody interacts with me on YouTube. All right, next up, we want to get the location that you went to. Do locations have a display name? Instance data? They do. Nice. So we could just write that there. Why do you show your keyboard in a separate view? I want to show the keyboard. I know this isn't your question, but I want to show the keyboard because it's a unique keyboard and people have kind of always asked about like what I use and how I type and everything. And so this way you can just see it. And why it's a separate view is because I think the only way to have it in the same view is if I had the camera like behind my head pointing down. But I don't know if that was the question or if it was just more like, why do you show the keyboard at all? Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch as well. Adam learns live. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I like this keyboard a lot. And I feel like I have influenced people to increase the number of split keyboards like this out there in the world. So it's always nice when someone's like, oh, I got a Corn because of you and I like it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. All right, the location you went to. So we're going to need a label for that too. I don't know where we should show it, but let's just add it under here, location label. Location label. This shouldn't be there. It should be next to it. There. Okay, location goes here. What? Okay, yeah, that I was going to say something really weird happened and it crashed. Would be easier to draft? I'm not sure if it would be. It might be. I think if you're not coding on it, it's actually much more usable because there's less you have to learn. Oh, actually, is that true? Maybe there's less opportunity to use a lot of those symbols. So the first time you actually do need something like a square bracket, you can't find it. Hey, audio mechanic. And yeah, dead robot, just connect the two pieces again. They should work. It's like an earthworm. All right, so this just got deleted. Yeah. I don't like when that happens. I don't think anyone likes crashes, but it doesn't save. I think this is broken again. Yeah, something is really messing up here. Like I'm typing in a label and it doesn't know that I'm typing it in. Location you went to. Let's just save this before it breaks. Call this location label and then save again. I think we should be good now. Hey, Xavier. All right, where is end battle screen? We want the location label. This is location label. And then we want to set this based on where you went. So how about for now, let's just set it to forest in all caps so that we know that it wasn't actually populated correctly. Dead robot. I trust that you properly did not type any of the right-hand things on a QWERTY layout. There is no argument that corresponds to this because I never passed in the result. Where is it? Battle, result. We need to plumb this the whole way through. Correct. Nice. Now we're good. We're going to need, I guess let's just pass in the whole instance probably, not just adventurers. And that way we could get the location from that. So if I hit start battle and then win, it says you won forest. Yeah, cool. So now we delete location you went to. Oh God, this is going to crash, I bet. And there it goes. It does not like this set of labels for some reason. I just don't get it though. If they're just labels. Like, why is it crashing so much? And why didn't it reopen? I chose reopen, right? Huh. Just eats the keys from the other half for the once in a blue moon times I make that joke. What if the only way you could make a joke is if you had to write a script for it first? Yeah, Godot just gave up on me. Maybe I should be reporting these crashes. I don't know if that would help. Man, this isn't even correct. What happened here? What is this? This is the end battle screen. End battle screen. Location you went to. Yeah, it just got deleted. What is good? This is like the simplest scene. I just don't know how this is crashing so much. Close other tabs. And all right, well, whatever. Let's text null. Just delete this label. Maybe the label itself is broken. I don't know. Feels like the world is crashing. I guess it kind of does. There's the, what was it called? I only think about it as crowd stroke now. What's it actually called? Oh man, I don't know the name. I actually cannot think of the crowd strike. Yeah. I thought it rhymed with stroke, which is why I was I was like, crowd poke? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, that just crashed. And then there was the snowflake stuff last month. Can I play the jump game in YouTube chat? No, unfortunately, it only works in Twitch chat. It just wasn't worth it to get it to connect to YouTube chat. And there'd be higher latency too. Yeah. Okay, so what am I doing here? We're going to pass in the instance. And then this is going to be taken from here. I guess we don't need to say that it's an read-only list. That'll probably let us clear up one of these things too, yeah. Whole doctor office cancel their appointments because their system is down. They canceled the appointments, man. Oh, man. Yeah, wow. I guess they can't get the data they need, or they probably can't save new data. Maybe that's why. Because I was going to say, there are two parts of it, right? Not being able to know who even had an appointment, and then not being able to save whatever health information comes up from the new appointments. Well, and it makes sense to have it all in a system like that. I actually just went for an appointment last week, and it was the first time I've had this happen. The doctor walks in with two phones, and he said, oh, this is my phone, but then this other one we use for transcriptions. He's like, is it okay if I just transcribe the whole like appointment that we have? I said, yeah, sure. And yeah, he turned on his phone, and then he said it'll just get saved into the computer. I don't know what it gets used for exactly, but that probably cuts down on maybe some liability issues they have. I'm not really sure. Maybe it increases them. Instance, we don't have the display name here, but we have the ID, and from all instance data we can get the display name. Yeah, why is this not showing up? Yeah, now let's try that out. Couldn't buy things from the gas station store. Their new cash register that uses cameras and stuff are all down. Is this all from CrowdStrike? Do you access numbers through a function key, or do you have a numpad? Everything you see is on this keyboard here. So I have a number layer. So like these are all the letters, and then turn that off. And then if I hold this key down, they become numbers. If I hold this key, they become navigation keys. It's all CrowdStrike. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I hadn't even heard of this company until today. And now it's just a bunch of bad news. Everything's crashing. Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. One of the things that's really nice about this is since your hands are already there, there's just very little movement. So if I am typing something and I want numbers and I type some numbers out and then I go to a new line or something, it's like my hands are just hardly moving for this. There's almost no movement. So the location you went to, I think we're good now. Let's try it out though. So we're gonna do grant most things, start a battle, go to dungeon 2, click this, click this, click this, and click this. And it says you won dungeon 2, party used. Maybe it should say your party was. I don't know. So I think it should probably say you beat the and then the display name of the instance. So let's do string instance name equals. It should just know how to get that. Good. We can put that here if we want. You beat. Yeah, I think I want to do it that way. You beat instance name, or what's the opposite of you beat instance name? You died. It shouldn't be you died. Your adventures is you lost at dungeon 2. You failed to beat. How about that? You failed to beat. Yeah, there. Now we don't need a location label at all because it's merged right in there. So delete you. So I guess we can delete that. All right, let's try that. Pour one out for the ops people losing their minds today. Yeah. Oh. Although I wonder how much you can really do if just the system is completely down because of a dependent system. You were bested by half of Fortune 1000. Those are the numbers before today. I wonder how many competitors they have, though, that one of these companies could reasonably switch to. Hey, Clonk. How you doing? Yeah, what we're finally working on. So if you take a look at... Why is Skeleseller not showing up from that? There. Take a look at the screenshot from the first version of the game. Uh-oh. CrowdStrike must be behind this image loader. All right, well, whatever. Let's just load it up in a very tiny image there. Yeah, so there were the battles at the bottom of the screen, but then there was just a bunch of blank space here. And now we're going to have a placeholder for when you've never run a battle. So if I start my first battle, it does what we used to do, and then it bumps the placeholder smaller, and it'll bump it even smaller again, and then it'll just disappear. And when you win a battle, it's going to just fade over the top of it and say what happened here, and then have buttons for like, hey, you can repeat the battle. So this is going to be great because now it won't like the town is just obscured by random stuff. It's going to be obvious what's here. So I'm very excited about that. And we're just slowly populating this list of stuff. So now we need some buttons, and then we need to show the loot that you got. We don't have a lot of time remaining in the morning stream. And remember, don't forget today, chat. In 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm going to have an interview with Sharon Lowe, who's a product lead at GitHub Copilot. I mostly just have questions that I'm going to be asking. I think it's going to be a very full interview, as in we're going to probably not have time for chat questions, but I do have a couple more from when I asked on Discord. So maybe I'll get to those, maybe not, but I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So please try to be here in 2.5 hours. What time zone? I mean, just 2.5 hours from now. The time zone is Pacific time, but like I said, it's 11:30 for me, and it's going to happen at 2 p.m. for me. So yeah, just 2.5 hours. Yeah, I can't wait to see the new town. Me too. In fact, is that PR ready? I can't merge it right this second, but I can write down to merge it. Add town environment. It is ready. Wow. Yeah, check this out. This is what the new town's going to look like. Very cool. All right, I'm going to need to do that too. So before user research, finish the blank space stuff, and then merge the town PR. Where did that PR go? Here. Yeah. What are the topics I'm planning to cover? They're nowhere except for in my own personal notes, but it's generally like her career, the topic of burnout and mental health in tech, and what else? Let me check my notes. Gotta find this. Sharon, here it is. Okay, yeah, career. Oh, also her Copilot work. So Copilot itself, Copilot and GitHub. Um, what else? Responsible AI, burnout. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like these general topics. I think I have to figure this out. Okay, yeah. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so repeat battle. Should use the same slot that was already used. It's possible to... So I just want to get this done, and we have 17 minutes to do it. I think we've got enough time. All right, so let's add another button in here. So is this long water, a river, or a lake? I would not think about it too much just yet, because you might not even be able to see this in the game. Or if you can, maybe it's zoomed in so far that you actually can't see outside of it. So if you could only see to here, it might look like you're just an ocean town. But if you could zoom the camera up to here, you'd be able to see, oh, it's just a tiny, I guess, river. So yeah, I don't know. We'll probably clamp the camera to like this and you won't even know that there's water in the map. Well, maybe you'd see this, I guess. But this is probably not the final map. We're probably going to make more changes to it. And we have tile sets for things like winter and whatever else. I don't know if we'll use those. I feel like that's a little too much. Okay, so we need a button. We have one. It's going to be the repeat battle button. It's going to say repeat battle. And we're going to make it not be gigantic. Layout, container sizing, not gigantic. Sure. Okay, now let's go connect that. Private button, repeat battle button. Cool. When you press that, we're going to go to repeat battle. I guess we could just have it generate that for us. Put this at the bottom of the class. All right, what does repeating a battle do? It takes your same party and it puts it into the same instance. Well, what are we in? We're in the end battle screen. So we just need to emit an event at this point. All right, let's go get, I don't know, something from here. Yeah, sure. And what do you need to know in this action to know what to repeat? I guess we could pass in the adventurers and we need the slot. Well, let's pass in the instance then. The instance should be enough. And what do we call on repeat battle? Okay, so this dot invoke. But we need to know which adventures. Okay, so we need to save this off. Private instance equals null. Put this up here. Save it from init. Then in here, invoke it with the thing that we just got. Cool. All right, next, we need to go find where we make end battle scene or end battle screen here. And we need to connect end screen.on repeat battle. All right, I just had AI complete this because I want to think about this for a sec. So we need to call into... Oh, we need to finally free this instance too. So we got to free this instance. We need to create a new one, but creating a new one. So we used to do clear slot and then queue free. What does clear slot do? Sets it to null. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. All right, let's call those things. There. And then create a new one. Who does the creation? The town calls into the start instance. No, it doesn't need to do that. No, the instance manager could do it. But then it won't have the abilities component. Ooh, drat. So drat. I can write a little hack for this right now so that we can test this out. Town equals instance dot adventurers dot first. Actually, is this an IEnumerable? No, it's a list. So we can just do 0 dot ECS dot get component, town component. All right, and then from the town, we can get the abilities component. I'm just gonna get a, we're gonna call this hack. There. Yeah, I'm gonna change this before we're done, but public, what are we getting? An abilities component? Return player abilities. Yeah, if we don't have this, then we can't update any battle abilities that you might have had. But that's it. I think that should work. This is not -1 though. Oh man, we got to get the index of this instance, which I just keep doing over here. Private int get index of instance. It's a way to the dark side. I mean, if you just leave them there, they are. Oh, wait. What was that? There we go. Instance not found. Cool. Then we will write this up here. Where'd that -1 go? Here it is. Int index equals this. We need to do that before we clear the slot, and that should be everything. Let's try it out. So we can repeat battles, then we're good. We do need to check to see if any of your party members are already battling, because it's possible you put them in another instance. So how do we test this? Grant most things. Start a battle with the mage and rogue in the volcano. Okay, now we force a win, and then we click repeat battle. It looks like it worked. We need to hide the end screen though. I guess we just queue free it. End screen. No, we can't queue free it from here because this won't know whether it succeeded. We have to do it from the instance manager because the instance manager will know if you were in a battle or not. So assuming that succeeded, then we can do end screen.queueFree. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. And then I'm gonna write where I left off, is I gotta clean up this commit. It's not great. Clean up the commit. Have a very hacky function sitting around. Does it work though? Start battle, forest 2, pick those 3, rogue, mage, warrior, win, and repeat. Okay, only problem is it keeps popping up this error. At least one of your adventurers is in battle already. Oh wait, no, that's not an error. Never mind. It should close the party chooser. No, it shouldn't. It doesn't need the party chooser. All right, I am just getting confused. But yeah, looks like it's working. This is going to be great. I'm like so happy this is in the game because let's end this. It says you failed to beat Forest 2. If I start, how do I do this? I start a battle here. I start another one. And I start another one. It should overwrite the first one. It's probably not going to do that. Yeah, because that doesn't actually exist. And we can't repeat this now. Yeah, it just breaks. But anyway, the point is you will be able to just quickly go repeat battles. Except for this one's going to be broken because the whole, yeah, your mage was in use. Actually, if I win this, then it should work. No, it still doesn't work because it's probably busted. Yeah, instance not found. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the next thing we're going to have to fix. So where I left off, clean up the commit. I also need to make sure that none of your party members are in battle when we try to repeat a battle. Yeah, one of the reasons why I'm so happy with this as a change, and I really probably should have done this sooner, is that when you start out the game, all you can do is you only have a rogue. So you go to the forest and find, they're set to dodge 90% of the time, so this will pretty much just never end. But yeah, then it's like, okay, I want to do that again. And before you had to click start battle and then click this. And so you just constantly have this dialogue open and click start battle. That's fine until you got your next adventurer. So if I grant money and hire an adventurer, now you'd have to swap your party out, start a battle, then swap again and start a battle. And this isn't a problem if you're doing this once every like 10 minutes or something. I think this is a usable UI. It's not the best, but it works. But it is frustrating if you're doing it every 5 seconds. That's where repeat battle is going to come in handy. Okay, interesting. Look at that little problem there. Every time you hit win battle, apparently it shows another end screen, and they just keep getting darker and darker. Okay. We got to do something about that too. Bug, every time you debug win a battle, it just adds another end screen. Yeah, I think that's got to be it for this stream though. Yeah, because I got to have enough time to get lunch, and then what's gonna happen? So, like I said, right now about 11:44, I'm gonna go get lunch. I should be back around maybe an hour from now, and then the interview is at 2, so it's 2 hours and 15 minutes from now. No big deal. Yeah, it's actually stacking end screens. So you're just getting lots of information. If only you could see through them all. So I'm excited about this. Otherwise, it's just going to be normal game dev stuff. And the stream will probably last maybe like 2.5 hours. So it shouldn't be too much longer in the afternoon. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I am very excited about Skeleseller. I was excited about the interview. I think it's just been a generally good time to be working on all this stuff. And I will hopefully see you in the afternoon in about 1 hour. So take care. Bye. Have a good rest of your day.